Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the PETHS Alumni Network podcast. I'm your host, Nathan, and today I'm joined by Miss Samantha Chan. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Of course. So you graduated in 2019. You then went on to the University of Toronto to study life sciences. You specialize in molecular genetics, and you're now at CMCC, which is a Canadian Memorial Chiropractic College, to become a doctor of chiropractics. So we'll kind of work, our way back. What kind of clubs were you involved in during your time at PET?
Yeah, so honestly, in high school, I was really low key and I was like really shy. So I was really only part of the volleyball team, senior girls. I also played varsity, and we actually did co-ed together, which was really fun for a little bit. And then I also was one of the tutors and president of the ESL Peer Tutoring Club. That was really low key as well. It was more well known with the ESL community because I was, an immigrant. So I feel like I would understand them the most. And yeah, that was the club that I was leading, part of it. And yeah, those were my main clubs, honestly.
Yeah. Do you have any classes that you remember very fondly?
I loved advanced functions with Miss Afshari. She's one of my favorite teachers. I go back to visit her every year. And yeah, I think I really found my passion with like the math, sciences with her. And she was very kind to me. I was a grade 11 taking grade 12 advanced functions, and I loved it.
So you decided to go on to science, the science background. What kind of like experiences did you have, or what was your decision really based on to pursue the science path?
Yeah, so when I was in grade 12, that was September 2018. So for 1 year, I actually worked at an optometry clinic. It was actually my optometrist, and like I was just, conversing with him, and then he gave me the opportunity. So I really enjoyed working there. And also just volunteering at Markham Silva Hospital, and other like Toronto General Hospital. I did some volunteering there as well, and I found a passion in healthcare, and I feel like I would excel in it, and so that's why I went with sciences.
Okay, so after high school, you went on to U of T, like I said, to study molecular genetics. Can you like spell out in plain English what exactly molecular genetics is?
Yeah. So everyone knows DNA, or deoxyribonucleic acid. They kind of are the basic units of us, each one of us. And we basically dive deep into what DNA, or what's happening on a molecular level, very, very tiny level. And other than just DNA or genetics, we also talk about like cancers or genetic diseases, which is really cool and interesting, and also biotechnology, which I thoroughly enjoyed.
So, like more specifically, how did you, decide that that was the right path for you over like med sci or like kinesiology or like health sciences, for example?
Yeah, so honestly, at first, I knew I liked sciences, but I didn't know what kind. So in first year, we kind of took a little bit of everything. I think a lot of life sciences or health sciences students did as well. So a little bit of math, physics, biochemistry. We dipped a little bit into like plant bio, anatomy. In that specific moment, I feel like I was really looking into the future with technology, and I wanted to do something a little bit with like coding, and also something new, really. So I feel like genetics. I think maybe you guys have heard of like genome engineering or genome editing or CRISPR technology. I was really interested in those kind of technologies, and that's why I kind of chose molecular genetics out of like other sciences such as like anatomy or chemistry.
Was there like a big, almost like culture shock or like reality shock once you got to university, like compared to what you were expecting?
Mm, I would say, yeah, like the community itself, first of all. I don't think this is just U of T, but also everywhere in general. The community is very big, and I feel like there are so many like support systems for you. So obviously, other than your peers, other students, older students, graduates, and like TAs, professors, and things like that, you also have kind of like the behind the scenes like kind of people. So you have your academic advisors, you have your mental health kind of practitioners at U of T that kind of helps you around. So I think that's one of the things that really shocked me. I feel like at first I thought I would be an adult going into U of T and like I would survive on my own. Like I don't need any help, but I realized that I actually networked a lot and I got really close with a few professors and I actually used a lot of the resources, which at first like I was like kind of shocked. I was like, why? Like I didn't think people would actually use it, but then I actually looked it up and I actually started using those services. Yeah.
Yeah, we have a lot of guests on here that kind of bring that up. And you know, it's a thing that kind of differentiates university from high school, I feel like specifically. And were there other schools that you were looking at? Like what were your other top choices?
Yeah, so I'll tell you a few schools that I applied to. So I also did Waterloo Life Sciences. And then the second school that I got accepted to was U of T Life Sci. I actually also did York Schulich, which I got into, like I fully did like the interview and I got into, I was like, wait, what? I have no business background, but I was just like testing my luck. I also did Waterloo AFM actually, which was really interesting. I got in as well and I got like a handwritten letter from like a student at that time. And they actually also went to PETHS, so I thought that was pretty cool. And I also did Waterloo Computer Science, which I surprisingly also got in. I remember I was at like a volleyball practice or something, and I got in and I was like screaming in the change room. It was like insane. But yeah, those two sciences, so Waterloo and U of T, were the ones that I was really truly looking at. But at that time, my mom truly believed in like university rankings. So she wanted me to stay close to home as well. So that's why I chose U of T.
And I guess it all worked out.
Yeah.
Yeah. What are some of like the biggest things that you learned in high school versus some of the biggest things you learned in your undergrad?
I think in high school, I really think that like networking is important. You think, okay, I'm still pretty young. I don't need networking at all, but it was really helpful. Like I mentioned, Miss Afshari, I still keep in touch with her, and she actually wrote a few recommendation letters for me to get my research position that I got in first year, which is very rare. Not a lot of people get research opportunities, but luckily I had her, and she wrote me a glowing recommendation. Thank you. Shout out to her. And also like Michelle, for example, I still keep in touch with her. I was able to kind of help out as like I guess like a coach, but also like an athletic person that kind of helps out with like any injuries or warming up and like anything related to chiropractic. I feel like I was able to help out and gain more experiences, which is really cool. And then in university, I would say they give you so many chances to try different things. Just do it. If you like something but it's not your major, just do it, honestly. You paid for tuition. Yeah, do it. Join that club. You already paid for it. Enjoy. And I really think trying as many new things as you want, it won't harm you in any way in most cases, I'd say. And it might help you discover things that you like and maybe you might pursue as a profession later on.
Were there any clubs at U of T you'd like to shout out?
Yeah. My main club, GSGGB, or the Global Society for Genetics and Genome Biology. I was at that club. I remember I was so nervous. At the interview, I like couldn't find the library, and then it took me, I think I was late by like 5 minutes. And I was like so nervous. I'm like, I'm so sorry. And Jet, the president at that time, he was so nice. He was like, oh, you're good. I know it's probably like literally your first week here. It was an amazing club. And I had the chance to do like art coding workshops, which usually you have to pay and do outside of school. And we got it for free, which was amazing. And there's a lot of networking events as well with researchers and other practitioners. And then another one, UTSB, University of Toronto Sports Business. I know it's really weird. Like, why would a life science student be part of the exec team? I found it really cool, and it actually inspired me partially inspired me to do chiropractic. But those two
Mhm.
were definitely my favorite clubs. Yeah.
Mhm. Interesting. It sounds like, a good student life balance, which, makes me wonder, if you could pitch U of T in like one or two sentences, if you could summarize, all the great stuff about U of T, what would you say?
This is a tough one because I know people think that U of T is like, super cutthroat.
Mhm.
Let me think. I would have like two main selling points. Number one, downtown. How fun is that?
Yeah.
All the food, Chinatown. You can thrift. You go to Eaton Center if you're bored. Not during class. I don't I don't encourage that. And the second sentence I would say is probably opportunities. For example, for sciences, we have the UHN, or like the hospital network in downtown Toronto. It was amazing to volunteer and work there. It was really cool. And for business students, I know there are a lot of buildings and like amazing corporations downtown as well. So
Yeah.
like those things, I hope they kind of encourage people to go to U of T and consider it. Yeah.
No, I'm surprised you didn't say like, diverse population. I guess those are like the big things. A lot of clubs, you meet like a lot of people, a lot of good friends, and like people I know go to U of T, and they say it's great. So I'll give them that. But Rotman could be a different conversation altogether. That'll have to be its own separate episode. But I get someone from Rotman on here.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm curious as to, you studied molecular genetics, and that you mentioned that's on a very like small scale. Where did like chiropractics come into the picture for you?
Yeah, so actually a lot of people ask me that. Even in my current program, my DC program, everyone came from kin or like, just not a genetics background. That's very weird. But I would say I honestly looked into the future, like near future, as to what I wanted to do. I feel like with genetics, yes, the technology is growing very quickly. However, I feel like for me, as a career, I like to do hands-on work. I like to really communicate. I don't want to sit in a lab, working on things the whole day. I want to communicate with patients' family, patient education, for example, manual therapy, and things like that. Those kind of things really intrigued me. And I think if there's like one incident that really led me into doing chiropractic, would be when I was in, I believe, third or fourth year. Actually, it happened twice, so I don't really remember. I got two concussions during my undergrad career, and it was very traumatizing. Like when I get up from the bed, like my head would hurt and my neck, my traps and everything, they were very stiff, and I was really scared. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to graduate. I won't do well in school. I can't walk to lectures or anything like that. So I actually used my U of T insurance, and I was like, okay, let me see like what chiropractors can do for me. That was the first time I went to a chiropractor, and I really enjoyed it. I actually asked them about their work-life balance because I know I wanted to do something in healthcare, but I didn't know what specifically, optometry, dentistry, chiropractic, anything like that. And they told me how nice her life was, honestly. And I was like, wow, like I see myself doing that as my career, So I feel like genetics, it's fun, but I don't see myself doing it as a career as opposed to chiropractic.
What was the application process like?
Application process to CMCC, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so fun fact, I actually applied one day before the application deadline was due. I remember it was November. It was like the week before my birthday. And I just like went online and I like kind of filled in all the application forms. And one of the very important forms is your experiences and also your academics. So you need to help them translate your whatever grade you have into their grade system so that they know what your actual grades are for the application. And then from there, so November until around February, I was so nervous. Like every single day I was checking my email. I was waiting for that interview request, because you do need an invite to move on to the second step. I got it and I was like so nervous. I prepared a little bit for it, but I had no clue what to do. I just kind of used the practice portal that they gave us, and I just like did it a few times before the real one. And then I did the interview, I think it was March. So that was like online recorded, but you only get one shot. Yeah, so I did that. I was like, why did I say that? I was like, that sounded so stupid. I was like, I hope they don't think I'm weird or anything. So the actual interview, they're all graded or reviewed by like a professor, like different faculty members, some current fourth year students. So they are just in their internship year, so they know a lot about the school system and also the actual work as a chiropractor itself. So yeah, there's multiple people on the panel that's grading you and assessing you. And then I think it was June when I got my acceptance. I remember I was working at my senior home and I screamed in the break room and I like texted my mom. I called her. I remember I pretended to be really sad, but yeah, I got it and it was really exciting.
And it's been good so far?
Yeah, it's really good. I would say a lot of content, but content itself isn't hard. Yeah.
I always ask the people who do postgraduate work, are you going to identify with CMCC more, or are you going to identify with U of T more when you're not done?
I would say probably CMCC, just because we are such like a small community and there's such a small group of us. It's the only chiropractic school in Canada, so I would think like it would be cooler to say that I'm from CMCC. But if someone asked me where I went to do my undergrad, I'll be like, oh, U of T, you know.
How many people are in your year?
So just in my year, so not including people that repeated first year, I would say around 170, 180. But yeah, it was very competitive and very hard to get into, I would say.
Okay, I want to know the definitive answer. Is cracking your knuckles bad for you?
It's not entirely bad as long as you're not like obsessively like cracking like every few seconds and they're not loose or hypermobile. Then it should be okay. But suggest you guys not to like do it constantly. Do you do it a lot?
Not a lot, no. But cracking my neck in the morning is nice.
Watch out for your neck, because there's a lot of like arteries and everything there. But I would say
I've seen some crazy stories, but I try not to listen to those. We'll kind of like segue into some quick rapid fire questions. If you had $1 million right now, what would you do with the money?
Right now, I think I would take half of it and like invest it. Maybe like max out my FHSA, first home savings account, for those who don't know. I already maxed out my TFSA. I saved a lot of money like working since like grade 12. Saved a lot of money for that. And then probably pay a little bit of my tuition off. And then take the rest and maybe invest in real estate. I know a lot of people are doing that. You know, you live in a section and then you rent out the other portions.
Wow, we should have a personal finance podcast.
Oh, that would be so fun.
Sounds like you know all your stuff. You're throwing all the accounts and maxing them all out. It's great. I'm surprised you didn't say travel. We hear that a lot. That's everyone's usually go-to answer. Would you have a place on your bucket list to travel to?
Yeah, so actually I just came back from New York not too long ago. So that's why I wasn't like super like, oh my God, I need to go travel. But my next spot's probably like Hawaii. I really want to learn about the culture. LA. I feel like a lot of people go there. And I really want to go back to Hong Kong actually to visit family. Yeah.
What's your favorite food?
Favorite food? I would say the mushroom truffle pasta from Gusto 101 in downtown, or from New York. This was so good. There's like a breakfast bowl from like can I say like restaurant names?
Yeah.
Jack's wife, Frida. It was the best breakfast I've ever had. Definitely
Interesting,
that.
yeah.
But that's only when you go to New
Yeah.
York, so.
Okay, well, we're taking all the food recommendations on the podcast. Next up, we're taking song recommendations to make a playlist. Do you have a few, like 1 or 2 songs for us that we should all listen to?
My number one right now, it's For Me by Malcolm Todd. Like a 4, the number 4, and then Me, For Me, Malcolm Todd.
What would you tell yourself, like a high school version of yourself right now?
I would say don't be shy. Honestly, I don't think anyone knew me until like grade 11 or grade 12. Don't be shy. Go to that cabaret. I never went. Go to that semi. I only went to 1 in grade 12, I think. Meet new people. Network with their teachers. Don't be scared. Join that club. Join that team. But yeah.
Do any specific moments stand out for you?
Specific moments. I would say prom, for sure. 2019 Raptors won the same night as we had prom. That was so cool. It was like the craziest thing ever. It happened the same night, and I remember they were broadcasting it on the screen. It was crazy. And also I would say graduation. That was really like, I don't know why I cried. Like for 4 years I was like, get me out of here. Get me out. I hate it. But yeah, it was like I kind of cried with like my grade 9 friends. I was like, I'm so sad to see you guys go. And also when Coco opened in the plaza. For sure.
What's the go-to bubble tea order?
Ooh, at Coco it would be the strawberry latte with tapioca. Kind of controversial. I don't know. I feel like a lot of people don't like it, but
that's a different one.
Yeah, it's really good.
So looking forward, what are some aspirations you have, both professionally and outside of work too?
Yeah, so professionally, I would say obviously graduate and do my internship. I really wanted to do it at the Sherburne Clinic, so that one's downtown. I feel like it's not the same people that you always face, so like not just your peers and your other fellow students, faculty members that you're working on, but you actually meet like low income people of society and seniors and everything like that. So I'm really looking forward to my 4th year to get to work on that internship. And then actually I also want to further my education in like kind of, I would say 2 different ways. The first one is I want to do the vet chiropractic actually. So that one, I believe it's offered at University of Guelph where their vet med program is. So I'm really excited. I love animals. I have a few pets of my own, and I would love to get that part of the degree done as well. So that's on top of the 4 years. So a lot of years. And then the second half, I would say also get my certification and license in like acupuncture and other very common like modalities for chiropractors. So that's like kind of my career. And then personal, I would love to like get married and have my own family. Honestly, I want to not like get that over with, but I kind of want to do that part of my life when I'm like younger, so I can feel closer. Yeah, kind of get it over with, so I could understand and be closer to my kids if I have any. I love kids too, and I really want to be like successful in a sense that like people recognize me and know me for good things. Obviously, not like not bad things, but I really want to like just be a strong influence in like other people or younger people's lives in the near future. Like for example, right now I feel like I'm taking a great step towards it, helping out with high school students or even undergrad, but yeah, I want to make that impact on other people's lives.
Great. Yeah, sorry, I'm just stuck in my head a picture of you like cracking a dog's back.
No, have you seen those TikToks?
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Like the tiny little ones, you can like just crack them like that.
Yeah, with a little finger. Yeah.
Oh, that's so interesting. What's your favorite breed of dog?
Oh, I am kind of biased. I had a Chow Chow. His name was Charlie.
Mhm,
So I have to go with Chow Chow. They're so fluffy and
mhm,
they look like a little lion and they have like a blue purple tongue. I think they're really unique. So
mhm.
definitely a Chow Chow.
How big are they? They're like 10
They're
pounds?
not this big. They are
Oh,
like probably like
oh,
I don't know, like maybe
mm.
comparable to like a golden retriever.
Oh, really? They're that big?
Yeah, and like I think
Oh,
it's a lot of the
interesting.
fur because they look like
Mhm.
a lion.
Yeah.
They look puffy and stuff. Definitely the
What
fur.
animal? What other animals do you think like you'd crack? Like, you-
This is really popular actually. Horses?
Oh, I've
I
seen those.
know.
Yeah, I've
Yeah,
seen
like I'm
those.
literally
Yeah.
5'2", 5'3", but I feel like um I would also do great with horses. I don't know. I just love all sorts of animals and cats. Like those three, so dogs, cats, and horses, those three are very popular. And I feel like horses are becoming more popular with
Mhm.
people like having like
Yeah.
horse competitions, I guess.
Mhm.
They need a lot of maintenance with their bodies and definitely horses. Yeah.
Mhm. No, that's great that you want to branch out into other things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So wrapping up, got two more questions for you.
Mhm.
If we come back in 10 years, and you kind of already answered this a little bit, and we say Sam is, and then there's a blank, one word, what would that word be?
I would say I think I used the word successful a few
Mm.
minutes ago. I
Yeah.
would definitely use the word successful, not just in the sense of yeah, money, power, wealth, but like just being like influential.
Yeah.
I want to be like the Dr. Miami of chiropractic. I want everyone to know me
Mhm.
as the chiropractor. Patient education, for example, with my social media, let's say.
Mhm.
But I just want people to learn more about, let's say, my journey or
Mhm.
chiropractic or just anything related to like academics or like how to become a chiropractor, like anything like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah. So, final question for you: if you could nominate a fellow pet alum, or two, if you'd like, who would it be?
I would say my brother, Owen
Mhm.
Chan. A lot of people are shook that we're siblings. I don't know why. But yeah, we're siblings.
Yeah.
Owen for sure. Answer our texts. Actually, I don't know
Yeah.
if he's gonna answer my text too. Um, Also Jenna Dorrington,
Mhm.
amazing friend of mine since grade, I don't even know when, like grade 9, grade 10.
Mhm.
Amazing friend of mine. And one last person is Justina Chan.
Mhm. Yeah.
Amazing. She went abroad to study. She also played for her universities, colleges in the States for basketball. She actually
Mhm.
played a little bit of volleyball too, and we were like
Mhm.
neighbors.
Yeah.
And but I think she's really inspirational.
Mhm.
She's also great at like her work-life balance as well. So I definitely think that she needs to be on here.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We'll do our best to get those three on here. They've been called out.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this, we're
Yes.
calling you out. Okay. Thank you so much for being on the podcast. Do you have any
Thank you.
final remarks?
Final remarks.
Yeah.
This might be
Well,
kind of crazy. I kind of regret like not using this quote for my grad quote, but like honestly, YOLO is like my life motto.
mhm.
YOLO, like you literally only live once. Like do
Mhm.
whatever you want, obviously appropriately if it's good for you. But like try new things. You never know what people like who you're gonna meet and like what things you would do and what each door that you open will lead you to.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Yeah.
honestly, YOLO.
Yeah. That's perfectly well said. Yeah. So yeah, thank you so much. It's great talking to you about the post grad work that you're doing in chiropractics. Nice to have our doctor on here. So yeah, we'll wrap it up there. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. We'll see you guys next week.
Thank you.